What's up, fungal associates? Welcome to Completely Arbortrary. This is the podcast about trees and other interesting topics.
Curious.
And other related topics, excuse me.
Hey, I still like it when you say in other, what did you used to say?
Other things such as something.
It wasn't quite that clunky, Alex. But
I'm one of your hosts, Alex Crowson.
And I'm Casey Clapp, another host.
Hello, Casey.
Hi, Alex. Guess what?
What?
We got sale going.
We got what?
We have, we have a sale.
Wow. How big is that sale?
The sale is like, it's the size of the planet. It is a planetary sale.
The sale is the size of 5 of our suns.
Exactly. All combined and exploding.
We don't know how to promote this sale besides telling you that it's 30% off everything on our store.
Well, we did try our best.
We tried saying it was this sale was the size of 5 suns.
Yeah.
30% off everything in our store if you use the coupon code BLOWOUT, and that includes a absolute flush, a bloom of new stickers.
Yes. Yeah. We've released them. It was a long time coming, but we did it.
Yep. They were locked up in the Cone Club closet, and now they are officially on arbortrarypod.com/merch. So go get them. A bunch of new stickers you've never had access to, or maybe you have.
Or maybe you have. Yeah, that's right. So if you have ever been interested, if you have ever had a friend who is interested in anything related to this podcast, now's the time.
Now's the time.
Honestly, family members too. I don't think we should just leave it at like non-relations.
Sure, no.
Right?
Strangers on the street. You know how people will sit on the side of the street and ask for money?
Yeah.
Give them cone stickers.
That's really what they're looking for.
So that's arbortrarypod.com/merch. Use the coupon code BLOWOUT for 30% off everything. Casey.
Yes, Alex.
Our theme, it's a kind of a loose theme.
We
just haven't promoted it as a theme.
Yes, exactly. But it's there.
It's the spooky month, October. And we have a very spooky tree to talk about today. Oh, God, I shiver to even say its name. The Coffintree.
This is the Coffintree.
Does Dracula lie within? We'll have to find out after a quick break right here on Completely Arbortrary.
Welcome back to Completely Arbortrary.
What have you done with Alex? Ah! I'm just kidding. Alex is just right there. That was a bit.
That was acting.
That was acting.
Casey.
Yeah. For those of you sitting at home, Alex just used air quotes. And you know what? I'm going to edit those out.
Nice try. Casey, today we're talking Coffintree.
Yeah, we is.
Let's see. Taiwania cryptomerioides.
Yes.
Merioides.
Yeah, exactly. I said cryptomerioides.
Cryptomerioides.
But you just said cryptomerioides.
Cryptomerioides.
Yes, merioides. That's what you did.
And what'd you say?
Cryptomerioides. I said cryptomerioides.
On the oi.
Your oi.
Okay.
Yeah, very.
Taiwania.
Let's see. Let's
Did I do that one right?
Actually, it's Taiwania, Alex.
Well, Casey, the Taiwan Coffintree, or just the Coffintree.
Exactly. So this is also in Chinese, Taiwan Shan.
Taiwan Shan?
Yeah, just in case you're interested.
Cool, I am. Casey, let's imagine, as we do every episode, that you and I are dead in the grave and our coffins are made of Coffintree wood. Let's ID this tree.
Let's imagine, like we do every day, that we are dead in our graves.
Yeah.
Before we get going, this was actually a recommendation by one Space Cobra 38.
Oh.
Shout out at you.
Nice, Space Cobra.
So this tree, I have actually heard of. I've actually seen a few different times, and was keen to do just because it's an interesting, curious tree.
Very intrigued.
But I had no idea that it was called a coffin tree until this exact moment. Well, when I saw this email, and then did some looking, and you know what? Totally is.
It looks like it may be related to China fir.
Yes,
it's in that category visually for me.
Well done.
Oh, thanks.
It is. It is very closely related to the China fir, which is Cunninghamia lanceolata, and the cryptomeria, which is, of course, what the specific epithet means. So cryptomerioides means it has cryptomeria-like leaves.
Which one's cryptomeria?
Cryptomeria, that is the sugi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Cryptomeria japonica, otherwise known as the Japanese cedar for no real reason.
Okay, and I've never heard of Taiwania.
Yes, and that is for good reason. It's kind of rare. It's not really found around. It's not a wildly common horticulture species up here right in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
But it can definitely grow here. Up in Seattle, here in Portland, we have sparing examples of it in like these arboreta or really fancy gardens. Here in Portland, Elk Rock Gardens has one. The Seattle Arboretum. There's one at Hoyt Arboretum here.
Cool.
But if you go just a little bit further south, like say, I don't know, the Bay Area, they are loving the Bay Area.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So you can find them planted there in big gardens. Some of the best ones I've seen was in the Berkeley Botanic Garden, I believe.
That's probably more in line with the longitude of Taiwan, no?
Yes, I think
Or
so.
in China.
Yeah. Yeah, just like not quite temperate, but not quite subtropical.
Yeah.
So very much right there, Bay Area, a little bit further north, where the redwoods grow, where it's like, will it snow? Maybe, but probably not.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about it, Case.
All right, so this is a tree that was originally found in the early 1800s by botanists for the first time. However, like every single tree we ever talk about, that is just the moment that someone wrote it down in a particular way. Of course, everyone knew about it where they lived.
Sure.
But there's only really a small, maybe 2, 3, at most 4 populations kind of spread throughout. One's next to Myanmar on the border of China.
Wow.
Then there's another grove that's off the coast on the island of Taiwan.
Wow, 3 or 4 populations in the world.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're a semi-threatened.
Native populations.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we planted them all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
But the native forests, there are some very few that are actually still around because, of course, this is a very well-loved and used tree.
Sure.
So the biggest ones that you're ever going to find are the ones that I would just, these are the ones I want to see. The biggest they can get is 8.2 feet in diameter.
8.2. Wow.
Yes. So for those of you keeping track, generally speaking, a like medium tall American is going to be like just under 6 feet tall. So add another 2 feet onto that and then lay them down. And that is the diameter of this tree.
I just want to say I'm 6'2".
Oh, yeah, well, Alex.
And single.
Up, just a little above average, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I guess I'm above average.
Yeah, hey, I'll see you guys want to give us a shout.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, come find us.
I don't want to give people that license
Ah,
to
well,
come
okay.
find me.
Okay, don't like, okay, it's a metaphor, people.
Slide into my DMs, why don't you? Don't come find me.
Get some romanticness in there.
Yeah, come on.
Anyway, butter him up.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Listen, we just want you to hang out with him, okay? Just come on over. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
brother.
So it's just a little bit bigger around than Alex is tall.
Oh, thank you. God, you said tall.
So they can get, though, in terms of height, 275 feet.
Wow.
Which is about 85 meters, just shy, maybe about 84 meters.
That's a big boy.
They are huge. They were at one point understood to be the tallest trees in Asia.
Holy shit.
Yes. Now, that has since been debunked. Essentially, people actually went out and looked a little harder. And they're like, well, actually.
Still, though.
Still, one of the tallest trees. I mean, it's like coming out here to the Pacific Northwest, where every other tree is the tallest of its species.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah.
it is a giant tree, to say the least.
That's awesome.
Now, as it's growing in these forests, there is in Taiwan a really big, beautiful grove, like a whole forest that hasn't been cut. It's old growth. It's the one that has these really big, giant trees in it.
Okay.
And it looks like a forest that's half like Douglas fir, half gigantic kind of western red cedar juniper almost kind of thing.
Beautiful.
Because these are all in the cypress family.
Okay.
So famously, the cypress family has leaves that are all shaped or scale-like.
Yep.
Most of the time. There are a few, like the Cunninghamia, the China fir, that are needle-shaped, the redwoods also. But for the most part, they tend to be on that kind of that side of the spectrum of either scale-like or all-like.
Okay.
So this one actually has both kinds of needles, both kinds of leaves, I should say.
On the same tree?
On the same tree.
Wow.
Juvenile, they're more like cryptomeria, where they're really pointed, where they're really sharp. They're maybe about a half inch long, and they come out very much to a pointed tip.
That's all.
That is all like. And then as it gets older, the tree matures, the needles become smaller, a little squatter, and they lay more pressed like scales to the twigs.
Wow.
So they have these two kinds. But the other big thing about this family is that they have bark that looks very much like redwood bark. So
Okay.
it's red, it's fibrous, it's shaggy. It sometimes can break into like these longitudinal strips and that kind of thing.
It always kind of looks like bark made out of bark dust.
Yes,
know?
that's perfect. It is like the bark that bark dust comes from.
Totally.
You know? It's like this is what you expect to get 10,000 little splinters in your little fingers.
Don't even touch it.
God, I hate that stuff. So if you see this tree, if you find this forest, and go to our show notes, there's actually this beautiful video that I found.
Oh.
And it's of some of the biggest, oldest specimens on this island. And it's in the Taoshan Mountains, which I believe was, I think it's like Peach Mountains or something like that is what that translates to.
Okay.
But the video shows this like drone footage looking up this tree, and you're like, oh, we're about to reach the top. Oh, okay, well, we're about to reach the top. And it is like this amazingly gigantic, complex canopy. Then at the very top, there's just this little tree climber who's just like, hi, just waving. It's just like, it's the most adorable thing. And it looks like, like this cedar or a sequoia or a redwood, but the whole forest itself has more of a like Douglas fir kind of feel to it to me. So it's hard to describe, but as this, there's a couple other photos you can find that shows this really intensely kind of weathered gray, shaggy bark on this big tree with this open kind of flat topped canopy. So they're just like these incredibly charismatic, beautiful trees.
Beautiful.
They just are, they blow my mind. And you look at a smaller tree from afar, it looks like a Western red cedar. Like you see it in a garden, you walk up, you're like, nah. That's a Western red cedar.
Yeah.
I can tell from here.
Okay.
You get closer and you're like, wait a second. These leaves look weird.
Yeah.
Some of them are all shaped, and some at the tips where these little cones grow are like scale. Like, what is this thing?
Well, let's talk about those cones, Casey.
Yeah. Oh, they are terminal cones, and they look like kind of shaggy, less kept versions of a hemlock cone.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Love
great.
a hemlock cone.
Love a hemlock
Come
cone.
on.
This is a hemlock cone that had a
weekend bender.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. I was literally trying to say that word. I was like, it woke up and it's super hungover, and it's like, just please, just give me a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Everything's a little rough.
Grabs the first clothes that it finds.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly what it looks like.
It really does. And you said these are terminal cones.
They are terminal.
That they grow on the very tip of the branch.
Exactly.
And only one per branch?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, one per twig. So like there's lots of little twigs that come out. So it's just at the end of each little twig, and then the twigs that don't have it will continue to grow and elongate elsewhere.
I always think that's such a funny... it's a funny look because I'm like, oh, they're like holding a little cone out there. But it does make a lot of sense evolutionarily.
That's where you want to let it go,
That is
right?
the furthest away it can get from the tree.
Totally.
So like, let's spread, as much as we can, drop the cone at the very border there.
And then grow a little bit further. Yeah.
Good idea.
It's a smart move. This plant's a pretty smart one.
Good job.
So it is, it's also one of these big ancient species, of course, in Southeast Asia. This is a tree that has been like, it's threatened now because people have cut it down and the forests have slowly been changing. But it's also an area that the broadleaf trees have really kind of taken over. Remember when we talked about the Vietnam cypress, and we just found it like on the very tippy top of those mountains, right?
Yeah.
This tree was also found on one of those expeditions.
Oh, and it was like a zombie survivor thing where like they got pushed out by the broadleaves.
Yes, exactly.
And now it only exists in these very tippy top kind of places.
That's exactly the case.
Okay.
So this one it's a little bit less, it's not as rare as the Vietnam cypress, certainly, but it is still like so kind of, you can only find it in these very particular groves on the tops of these mountains. So it's another ancient species of these really, what used to be a vast family, the cypress family, which we've talked about lots of times. It's got a lot of those monotypic genre. This is another one. There's only one species in this genus, which is Taiwania.
Wow.
So you can't really find like big giant forests of like the same kind of things with our pine family species. You go out to our mountains over here, and there's just like a bunch of hemlocks and Douglas firs and true firs and larches and pines, and you're like, wow, this is just a pine family bonanza over here. Over there, it's like, oh, here's one species growing in one spot. Then you go over to a different mountain, there's a different species that's completely unrelated closely, and it's on a different mountain over there. And like the entire Southeast Asian area for conifers is like this weird, like mind-blowing refuge where, for whatever reason, all these weird conifers are still just kicking it there. And
That's pretty cool.
Another example.
Are most of them cypress?
No, I think it's there's quite a few different pine family ones there.
Okay.
But there is a huge amount of cypress as well.
Sure.
So definitely is there. But cypress is also, it's just a weird family. Like the Alerce, the big old Fitzroya down in South America, it's another example. It's one of the other biggest, oldest, gigantic growing trees. But that one is down in South America, and it just kicks it in the top of the Andes and doesn't ask any questions and doesn't want anyone to come near it.
Interesting. Yeah, cypress. I've got a new sort of characterization of the cypress family.
All right.
I'm like, this is like, a family of like bandits. Like we're not technically related, but we all got each other's back.
Yeah.
And we're fighting against the system. We're robbing from the rich and giving to the poor.
If someone comes to grab us, I'm not telling them anything about where you're at.
Yeah.
Zip
Exactly.
lips.
Snitches get stitches.
I adore this idea.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
Yeah, where there's just like all these trees, you walk up and they're just like not making eye contact with you, or they're making intense eye contact with you, being like, you ain't welcome here.
Just a motley crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually, now my brain's going. Now I just want to keep imagining all these trees across the entire world is like, you walk into a forest, you take a step in, the music stops, the piano stops playing, everyone looks over, and they're just like, what are you doing here?
Slowly start playing again.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't supposed to find us for a long time. But all you got to do is go to the closest stump, order yourself a whiskey, and order one for the guy over there, and everyone's okay.
They slide it across the stump.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone cheers again.
Yeah.
And, they realize you're not a snitch.
We're on our way to creating the next Pixar movie with this.
We really are. Pixar, give us a call.
The first Pixar movie with drunkenness in it.
Yeah, drunken trees.
Yeah.
Pixar, that is absolutely something you need to get involved with.
Well, Casey, that's our tree, the Taiwania.
Yeah, hey,
cryptomerioides.
Thanks, everyone. We'll give a rating after this. This is completely arbitrary.
Wait a second. If I've listened to this show before,
okay,
I know that there's something more to this tree.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Is there?
There is.
Okay.
So, let's see. Well, we've already talked about it. It's got those dimorphic leaves, those kind of like shabby, disheveled cones. And it grows to be some of the tallest trees in the world. But here's the thing about it. It has been used for just kind of like, I don't want to say unknown reasons, because the reasons are pretty obvious, for coffins in particular. And I cannot figure out why it's this tree and not some other tree that people decided was going to be used for coffins in this way. That
is really interesting. Is it specifically in Taiwan that they're in China?
It has been.
Okay, so well, my first reaction to that is like, well, it's tall and straight.
Yeah.
But that just makes good lumber, which you can use to build any number of things.
And they do make it into buildings and furniture and things like this. It's got a really nice, fine, straight grain. Smells really good. It's very fragrant wood, which most of the cypress family plants are. They always have that like really cedary smell to it, like cedrol. That's like literally the thing that comes out of Hinoki cypress, right?
Right.
So generally speaking, it is the same similar properties as all of these other very common trees. A lot of them you find in Japan, just a little ways down to the east. So why this one got used particularly for coffins, I really don't know.
Is there some sort of spiritual element to this?
I could not find anything.
Okay.
That said anything about some kind of spiritual idea.
Or cultural thing?
I did read somewhere, but I couldn't really corroborate it, that people would plant this tree when someone is born, and you would grow up with the tree, knowing that one day they will carve that tree into a coffin for you.
Interesting.
I don't know if I believe that.
That's kind of cool, though.
It is kind of cool, but I don't know that in, average lifespan of, when people were doing this kind of thing, 40, 50, 60 years maybe.
Yeah.
If we say they lived to 80 years, that's probably the oldest person in the entire village ever.
Sure.
that tree is probably not going to be like big enough for a full person to fit in if they carve it into a coffin.
It's one of those facts that's like a little too perfect. Like it's a little too precious sounding, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I do think, though...
Casey's hair is unruly.
Holy shit. I'm feeling okay now.
It's kind of parted down the middle, and then it looks like a ponytail in the back.
Oh, jeez.
You look like Mary Todd Lincoln.
Oh, okay. That does not help me, Alex. I'm going to put this hat on.
Oh, come on.
Jeez.
No.
All right, I'll let you look at it. I'll let you see it.
Sorry.
So, I don't know. I think you're right, where it is just like, I think they just cut down big trees and then mill the wood, but they use it, especially those who have a lot of money, for coffins, because first off, if you're going to buy really fancy, high value, really like smelly, nice smelling wood, that's going to get you a high price.
Okay, they're expensive.
You got to know that it's going to be the more rich people would be actually purchasing this.
Okay.
Strictly to throw someone in the ground.
Wow.
But I will say it is also very decay resistant, just like most of these cypress family plants. So being decay resistant, that means that you stick them in the ground, and if you seal it, the person inside's not really going to decay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have like this I don't know, maybe to some extent mummified like person inside of this very slow, if ever to decay coffin. So if you like open it back up, you're going to actually find someone in there.
Wild.
Which is like, if it's a pine box, your classic, American style coffin.
Sure.
This is going to decay
Your
in like
Wild
10
West
minutes.
style.
Yeah, exactly. The old pine box, throw them on in there. Yeah, that's going to decay in a natural environment. I mean, like, couple years. You're going to have that start to, certainly in a decade. Give it 20 years, 25, it's going to be toast. It's going to be gone.
Sure. And I mean, how resistant to decay is this wood?
Yeah, I think that you could probably keep it in the ground and it will last for decades.
Really?
Yeah. So it's the same thing as like junipers and alerce and a lot of even redwoods and sequoias, western red cedars. Like these are trees that just have wood that has developed to resist decay. Obviously, when they're growing, that's the whole point. They want to have the strongest, most full stem, right?
Are trees that grow really, like, are most decay-resistant trees going to be like big, tall conifers?
Not necessarily big, tall conifers, but most of the time conifers.
And maybe in kind of a temperate area where it gets kind of fungusy.
I think so. But then again, there's also like really intensely decay-resistant trees in the tropics where the gas pedal for decay and like fungus is absolutely maxed out.
Totally, yeah.
So there are some trees there that are like, I'm not going to decay ever.
Interesting.
But they live in essentially a moist, dark area where as soon as something lets its defenses down, it's going to be attacked from all sides at all times. So there are a few, but then I think a lot of these trees are also just like, whatever, I'm just going to grow up, and if I die, as soon as I die, I'm just going to just disappear.
Sure.
Not put the effort in.
But that's, I guess this is what confuses me about, and I know that it's not a choice the tree is making, it's just how it grows. But I'm like, well, what is the point of being decay resistant after you fall down?
Yeah. Well, it's to help you not fall down.
Sure.
At the end of the day.
So after you die, it's like the decay resistance is for when you're alive.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you want to have the wood that you are built on. Because, of course, we have to remember that trees are building on their old structure every year. So if the old structure starts to decay, then all the living stuff on the outside will fall over because it no longer has the support. Kind of like coral, right? Coral is always growing on the old coral that was beneath it. So each little polyp makes its own little home, and then the next one builds it right on top of that. So you get these little tiny homes built on top of all these other homes, and you get this bigger and bigger and bigger kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that about coral.
Well, there you go, Alex. So the coffin tree, it's just, I think, a really nice, beautiful wood that smells really good, which if you are putting a decaying body in there, well, that can't hurt.
Yeah.
And because we have this idea of like making sure that bodies don't decay, like we, in the modern world, we fill them with like formaldehyde and things to make them like not decay.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yes, I mean, the Egyptians famously, cultures all over the world have done a lot and taken pains to figure out how to preserve a body to never decay. Because, I mean, for the Egyptians, it was like afterlife. Like, we want to keep their body as pristine as possible.
That's the thing. Like, it makes sense for that kind of thing where, like, the afterlife is just, like, another phase of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But in modern America, we're not, like, strictly driven by Christianity anymore.
No.
And it's like, well, maybe it's just, like, an old way that we just still do it that way. Cause?
I think so.
Just cause?
Yeah. And there's also, like, regulations on it now in certain regards where, like, you can't just bury someone in the back 40 kind of thing.
Sure.
Like, you have to go through certain regulations that has to have certain things done to it. And there is not a way for you to just like naturally decay.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact process. I have a friend. I will ask her because she is a professional mortician, has done this for a long time. So I don't really know if they're like, yeah, we're actually just going to clean you up and then put you away. But I think the decay process starts quick.
Yeah.
So if you are letting this body get up to a certain temperature, then things will start happening. The smell will be too much very quickly. Yeah. So I don't know if they put in like formaldehyde and all these other different kind of preservatives to keep people like alive for a small amount of time, and then they're like, well, once you put in your ground, we don't really care.
Sure, between the death and the burial, it's
Yeah.
like we can't have our morgue smelling of death.
Yeah, and they put them in like the freezers and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So you know that they're taken care of there. But like, yeah, it's once they take it out of the storage facility, put it into the coffin, take it to the funeral, say, hey, everyone, here we go. Sorry, it sucks. Okay, goodbye, and then put them in the ground.
I don't like this discussion.
It's a bad discussion. But with our tree,
yeah,
they kind of already did that. So it meets all these requirements. Again, not like today, not now, but like way back when.
Yeah.
Before we had all these chemicals and things.
Sure.
It would smell nice, so help get rid of the smell.
Preserves the body.
Decay resistant, so it preserved what was inside of it because other things couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And it looked really nice. So if you had the money, might as well.
I wonder if in this part of the world they would like lay out. You know, have you heard of like laying out the
Oh,
body?
yeah,
You like put
yeah.
it in your parlor, and,
Yeah.
and everybody just comes and like hangs out with it.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, that would be a good reason for good wood, but also
Yeah.
you put them in the good wood and then you immediately put it in the ground.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody's going to see it down there, Casey.
We have a weird thing that we do, Alex. We don't really get it.
I know these processes, once you really start looking at them, nothing makes any sense.
It really seems strange. It makes me want to be like, oh, just like put me in cottonwood because I want just straight decay really fast. Turn me
Sure.
back into soil in a matter of seconds.
Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's just like, just throw me in a dumpster.
Just
Doesn't matter to me. I'll be dead.
I don't care. All right, you know what? That kind of sounds fun. Just have a funeral around a dumpster, light that dumpster, and be like, well, he went in as he lived his life.
Nice.
A dumpster fire.
That's really good. That's really good.
All right, Alex, before we get going,
Get going.
well, I don't know if we're going to move and talk about it. Yeah.
We got,
Yeah, listen, we're going to
this
get
episode is interminable.
Well, I realized that we skipped over a couple facts I wanted to share.
Please do.
Okay, so here's one fact.
Okay.
This tree can live to allegedly 2,000 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Another thing, all of the cypress families, they're always the oldest, except for the bristlecombs.
Really?
Yeah. It's like the Ilursae, one of the oldest, are junipers in the Sierra Nevada, some of the oldest. The Sahara cypress, one of the oldest.
I chalk it up to that nice smell.
Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah. The world's like, ooh, no. You stay.
Sure. I guess what I meant was... the what would you call it? The citronol or whatever.
Citrol. I think is what it is,
Yeah, like it gets rid of bugs and shit, and it's decay resistant, of course.
Exactly. So nothing's attacking it to kill it. It's
Yeah.
not going to fall over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very strong wood. Is
Exactly.
it strong wood?
It is a strong wood. Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
So I think you're right. So there's a good one. It was found by Ernest Wilson. You know him as Chinese Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
man! I
talked-
used to love that sitcom, Chinese
Old
Wilson.
Chinese
It's
Wilson.
a little racist,
But you're gonna like it.
but it's a piece of our history.
Yes, he was the guy that brought back a ridiculous amount of plants from China.
Now I remember Chinese Wilson.
Yes, yeah. He went over to China and brought back a bunch of different Japanese maples, a bunch of Japanese cherries, and that kind of thing.
Sure. You can call him Chinese Wilson because he's not Chinese.
Yes.
If he were, you wouldn't call him that.
Yeah, exactly. This is his classic name from old early 1900s Boston.
Yeah.
Like, oh, old Chinese Wilson. It's good to see you again. How are you, old fella?
It's probably revised. It used to be, you know.
It was probably something way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So he is another one that brought this back originally.
Okay.
There is also a species from China that is called Taiwania flausiana.
Wow.
Now, everyone agrees that this is, in fact, not a different species.
Okay.
It only differs in that some of the genes are a little bit different. Because this and the ancient, or the other grove that is in Taiwan, they have been split by just over 3 million years. So genetically, they are on their way to being their own kind of like genetic populations, but not enough to be species.
Can you say all that one more time? Sorry.
Yeah. So this other species, which is allegedly Taiwania flausiana,
Okay.
that is the one that you'd find in China.
Okay.
But it has been distinct and like separated from the grove, from the population that lives on Taiwan, this island, for about 3 million years or more.
Okay.
So genetically,
speciated probably.
no, that's the thing. It quite hasn't.
Okay.
It hasn't quite.
Okay.
So that's kind of the interesting thing that I learned about here is that if we were looking at the junipers, if the junipers were separated by 3 million years, and there was just enough, I think there was like 8 different mutations that they found to say, okay, it's been about that long, because it's that mutation kind of timeline.
Oh, sure.
Where
There's like a clock.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, so it's about 3.2 million years.
Wow.
So if that was a juniper, apparently in the world of junipers, that is enough to say, yes, these are different species.
I see.
But in this case, everything about the trees, for all intents and purposes, look the same, except one is a little more glaucous, so it looks a little bluish. Okay. The other ones are less glaucous, so they're more greenish. And that's kind of the only thing.
Okay.
So this, they're like, meh, not in this case, not enough for taxonomic split, which for me just goes back to the same taxonomy thing. You know me, Alex, I love taxonomy.
Yeah.
But it also is just so ridiculously, dumbly arbitrary.
I know.
Where I'm just like, okay.
It's so funny.
So for the junipers, 3 million years enough. For this tree, not enough.
Taxonomy almost operates like the federal government or something.
they get to decide at some point.
Like, why that and not this?
And they're like, because.
Our research was funded by Mike Johnson.
Exactly. And then
that's an actual guy's name. But right. I just meant to.
That is good. That is good. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the oldest fossil is found in the Middle Albion from 106 million years ago in, of all places, Alaska.
Okay, that's the epoch.
I think so. I really don't know.
Okay.
That I read and I was like, great. I'm just gonna read that fact.
Oh, this is a fun fact episode, baby.
This is, yeah. So 106 million years ago. Do that math. Apparently, that's the Middle Albion.
Okay.
So it must be some kind of era within an epoch kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, so we know that it was around throughout Europe and North America, Eurasia, this entire way back when.
Wild.
That would have been the same time that the Dawn redwood and all these other wild conifers that we no longer have in North America or in much of Eurasia would have been all over the place.
I see.
So this is another one of those species that just had everything go wrong and all of its populations died except for these few down in Southeast Asia.
Wild.
Yeah.
Because it kind of made a horseshoe shape, right?
Oh, you mean like...
the population movement of all these conifers?
Yeah, they kind of went up over into the Arctic area, across the Bering Land Bridge and all these kinds of things. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then came back down, and then everything died, and then pines came up from Mexico and took over everything.
Damn. This would be, now that you describe it like that, you're describing it like armies and like civilizations. Yes. That would be kind of an interesting... I don't know, it's a little short story or something.
I have actually thought about that in regards to a short story about the subalpine fir, because they grow at the super highest elevations, and whenever I see them, they look like sentinels, like they're really, really straight up and down, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, whenever I see them, I imagine that they look like they're marching up a hillside as they slowly but surely like go where the glaciers and snow has melted.
Yeah.
They're like, great, I'm going to get a foothold and I'm going to slowly go up. Then a gigantic avalanche comes down, and then slowly but surely they start walking their way back up again.
Sure.
So I think that is, I very much feel that.
Cool.
Yeah, we should write that.
All right.
Okay.
You go ahead and take care of that.
Okay.
I'll read it when it's done.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Well, you know what? That's the end of my facts. It's also
How about
Monicious.
that? So, okay, let me get this straight. This Coffintree, which was one of the more intriguing names that I've seen in a while, thought, oh, great. We're going to learn all about why this is used for coffins.
Yep.
And some interesting story. But
Don't say it so abruptly.
instead, I don't give a shit. We got a fun fact episode.
We get some fun facts.
Who doesn't love a fun fact episode?
You know, I was really hoping that there was going to be some like big mythological thing that came with this.
A revelation.
Yeah, maybe it would have been better if I just made this one up. And I was like, well, Alex, this tree actually will grow around you. So what they used to do is they would have these trees, they would nick into the bark, and then they would slowly etch it out. And then when you die, they would put you upright in the tree, and it would slowly compartmentalize over you.
That's pretty...
Until the tree is eating you alive.
I think if you really sold it, I'd probably believe you.
Yeah, well, damn.
But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes.
That's just the way it grows. All right, so maybe that's what we'll do. We'll when we're done with this episode, we'll do a quick little spooky version, and I'll tell you everything.
Well, no, here's the thing. I think that a tree called a coffin tree that is used to make coffins.
Yeah.
For the reasons that you and I supposed, I think that is a big enough of a story to make an episode about.
Okay, great. Well, I'm glad because we just did.
And we have to give the tree that we talked about today, the coffin tree, a rating, as we do every episode. But we have to do that after a break. We'll be right back with Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back. It's time to give a rating to the coffin tree.
It sure is.
Taiwania, cryptomerioides.
Yeah, you nailed it.
And here's how it works. We're going to give some final thoughts on this tree, a eulogy, if you will. And then give it a rating of 0 to 10 golden cones of honor. Casey, as our resident expert, will begin with you.
Well, thank you all for showing up.
That is so loaded to say at a funeral. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Sorry you weren't more busy.
I know you hated him, but thanks for showing up.
I think that the Taiwania lived its life as tall and as mighty as any oak, as bravely against all the odds as any bristlecone pine. And I think it lived its life on its own terms. What I like most, and what I think everyone else out there, I think everyone knows that this tree is not just some tree. It's a tree that gave. It gave us the scent. It gave us the feeling. It gave us the straight grain that we now see and understand as the exact right thing to place our loved ones in once they die. Other people just turn it into inn tables and couches, but also temples and shrines. But we're not here to talk about what this tree is after death. We're here to celebrate what it is in life. And for me, it lived its life to an 8.7.
Wow. Oh my God.
I know a lot of people are surprised to hear me say this.
Yeah.
And I know that the coffin tree would have liked it if I had told it this during life. But sometimes you regret what you don't say. So today,
Oh my God.
8.9. 8.7? Whatever I just said.
I think you said 8.7.
8.7 is how I believe this tree would want to be remembered, the Taiwania.
I think they're giving you the light,
coffin
Case.
tree. I have to go. My Uber is here, and I got another funeral to do after this. Thank you all very much.
8.7.
8.7.
All right.
It's honestly, do you know what the 8.7 is? It's a big tree.
Big tree.
One of the tallest
Superlative.
trees. It's a superlative tree. You know this about me. But also, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Every phase of the life of this tree, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Killing it.
And even after it's dead and it just doesn't decay and it turns into this beautiful piece of work, I'm like, yeah, I dig it.
All
I'll dig
right.
it 6 feet under.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very good.
That's what I think. Alex,
8.7. Okay.
I would like to call up Alex Crowson after this. I know he had some words.
I just want to say that.
Hey, I'm here, buddy. I'm here. We're here for you.
I like this tree quite a bit. I didn't know it existed until today. Mm-hmm. But I think...
How did you get to this funeral? Who invited you? Actually, just met this guy earlier today.
Yeah, I'm a +1.
I'm a +1. Now you're giving a speech.
But he was very tall and very wide. Almost as wide as I am tall. And he has beautiful wood. And people tried to decay him his whole life, but he resisted. And even in death, he continues to resist.
Wow.
And now has a dead person in him. And that is sad. So I will be giving this tree a 7.75.
Wow. I think it's beautiful. Thank you for those words.
I think because... Well, I've never heard of it before, so I'm like, kind of like, whoa, hey, nice. Who is this? It's like in the NBA, classic sports reference from Alex.
Yeah, no, yes, yes.
When like a new hot, really tall, hot as in like popular and like gonna change the league.
We feel you, Alex.
But also gorgeous,
obviously.
And like everybody's obsessed with them, and their card, becomes really popular.
Classic basketball cards.
Yeah,
I remember those.
And like, where did this kid come from?
Still have those.
Like they've been playing in China for like 10 years. They're like a superstar over there. I just think this is a really great big tree, and for that it gets my respect and a 7.75.
I think this is perfect.
There you go.
I would really love to see all of its young kin come over and visit us here.
Yeah.
Come back to where it used to be. Because it is still welcome.
Yeah. That's what you want to say at someone's funeral.
Yeah.
If the children of the deceased want to come hang out with me.
That's cool.
That's great.
Would love to see you.
I have a pool. All right, Casey. That was our review.
It's so emotional.
I know. I love that song, by the way.
Yeah. It was, they were both very good songs.
It was the funeral of Queen Mary. Music March for the Funeral of Queen Mary.
I see.
By
okay.
Purcell.
Gotcha. It was gorgeous.
I know that from A Clockwork Orange. There's like a synth version of it in the intro. It's fucking amazing.
That would be sick.
All right, Casey, that was our tree, the Taiwania. It's time for a completely arbitrary AMA. And this week, we got one from Rory. And before we read Rory's question, if you've got a question for us or want to support the podcast in any way and get some fun things in return, arbitrarypod.supercast.com. That's where to go.
Sure is.
And then you join one of those tiers and tab over to AMA and ask away.
That's right.
Rory asks, the subject is Conifer Crash Course. Would you guys ever consider doing a series that summarizes the biggest categories of conifers? In parentheses, larches, firs, spruces, hemlocks, and the like. Are all of those genuses? That's what Rory asks.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I love hearing the descriptions of how needles, cones, and bark are different across species of conifers. And it would be really cool to deep dive into those major categories in a more structured way. It is my dream to someday be able to look at a conifer or cone and guess its family, even if I'm not 100% sure what species it is.
Man, me too. Me too, Rory.
I would say with the publication of your debut book that you've pretty much got that unlocked.
I do in certain regards, yes. However, with weird trees like this, I might panic.
It is fun to be able to see, like, your friend has his mother's eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a kid and they have their mother's eyes.
Gotcha.
And it is fun to be able to be like, to look at a tree and immediately be like, I know this is a hemlock.
Yes. This
Not
is
sure which one.
Yeah, totally.
But that is a fun place to start.
Yeah. First off, Yes, Rory, I would love that idea. That would be sweet.
When I read Casey this idea before we recorded, he said, "Isn't that completely arbitrary?"
Yeah, isn't this already a completely conifer-focused talk show? Okay, so I do have to bite the bullet sometimes and talk about a non-conifer, though I would love to have just talked about conifers for 630 episodes.
Yeah.
Would have been nice. But there are other interesting trees out there. I hear you. I see you. Thank you. I think this would be a lot of fun to do like a crash course. So say, okay, so here's just the big things that separate these species. Now, if you really wanted to, go down that rabbit hole, the conifer database, the gymnosperm database, conifers.org.
Conifers.org.
It has a bunch of that exact kind of thing where it says to be a spruce, this is like what spruces have. To be a this, that's what they have.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I've used that quite a bit to kind of figure out like, okay, well, what is the difference between a spruce and a hemlock? What puts other things in hemlocks? What are those definitional traits? And sometimes they're kind of squishy, but sometimes they're like really obvious and easy to parse out. Like Douglas firs, all of them have long bracts on their cone scales.
Sure.
That is the thing that they have. There are other like minute things that you can look at that we can't really see. Like you have to do botanical like exploration through the cone, like smash it up and like all these different things. But
here's a little like family trait. Spruces, they have that papery scales.
Yeah. And they also have little pegs on their twigs.
That's right.
That you'll always find.
Yeah.
But where it really starts to get wacky is on things like the cypress family monotypic genre, where what puts it in in the cypress family usually is clear, but it comes down to the cones often.
This is like our Taiwania.
Exactly.
Is a cypress family monotypic genre.
Yes, and so is Cunninghamia.
Genus.
Yes. Genus, not genre. Yeah, I gotcha. So Cunninghamia is one of the most ancient of all these, and it doesn't look anything like the rest. Like the cones look more like an artichoke than they do anything else. They have needle-like leaves, and same thing with the Taxodiaceae family, or the old family, which is now just a subgroup under the cypress family, but that has the redwoods and sequoias and things.
But honestly, I feel like you could... I went to conifers.org recently, 20 seconds ago, and if you click on species at the top, there is a table. And it's order, the columns are order, family, genre, and species. And then it has the order, for instance, Pinales. Pinales?
That's good enough.
And then it has the family in the following column, Pinaceae. And then under Pinaceae, it has all the genre, Abies, which is fir, Picea, Pinus, Pseudotsuga, Suga, Cedrus. And then you can just click on any of those. I'm going to click on Pinus. And then it's going to give me another table of the subgenus.
And this actually is unique to Pinus. Of all the ones that you could have chosen, Pinus is a huge, huge genre.
Sure.
And so it further splits them down like you're describing.
So if I click on Abies, you're gonna have a section description on the left, and then a link to the species.
Yeah, and there's just like all the species are listed there.
And there are really not that many.
No, there really aren't when you really get down to it.
Yeah.
And like if you click on hemlocks, I think there's like 8 or 10 species of hemlocks, maybe.
Suga.
And that's it. So yes, Suga.
Yeah,
so,
they don't even grace hemlocks with a table. It's just a bulleted list.
Yes, and every now and then you'll find some like a phenology graph on one side that says like here's how they're all related together. But if you go down to the description of the genre of the genus, it will tell you here is what these species have. But in order to figure out what the difference is, you kind of have to either know what you're looking for, or sometimes they have like some other little bits throughout that website that kind of talk about it. But I bet you that we could absolutely do some kind of crash course, but I don't know how much I'd be able to do it for like those weird cypress family species and genre.
I think you just like don't even include those. I think there's a section that says there's a bunch of outliers.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the big five.
True.
You know?
Well, ideally, we could say, well, what pulls them all together? And I could definitely do that with a little bit of research, but we're not even talking about the podocarps. The podocarps are crazy. What about Arbortrary?
I think that's a separate course.
We're just going to have to do
that's
a
not
different
crash.
course. Okay, so we're going to have a crash course on the pines because I can do the pine family.
Yeah.
We'll do an extra credit crash course where we fumble our way through the cypresses. And then extra credit where you just do your own research and do the work is all the other conifers.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds great. Okay, I'll do that.
Whatever we can do to minimize effort.
Yeah. Now, I know that we could, Farjan, that guy has done like whole monographs on these things.
Yeah.
So that would be the thing where if I got his big opus, then I could probably go through and say, okay, what separates all of these different species and genre from each other? Like, what is it that makes one?
Sure. I think what's important to remember is that we are not Arjan.
Agreed.
We are not professional botanists. We are not gymnosperm.org, conifers.org. We are completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
And our brand is approachable and silly.
That's right, people.
So I think like we could dumb it down.
Our crash course is not going to be a good one, is what we're saying. It's just going to be one that's far more palatable to listen to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Why not?
I'm good with that. If we can find that line, make sure that we at least meet our 70% requirement.
Yes.
So we are only shooting for C's here, people.
Yeah, why not? Hey, they get degrees, as I learned.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your question, Rory. Like I said, if you want to support the podcast, ask us questions, get botanical stickers every month sent to your physical, actual mailbox. Become a Premium member, arbitrarypod.supercast.com, or go to arbitrarypod.com to buy some merch. 30% off everything for the month of October with the coupon code BLOWOUT.
It's going to be so messy.
It's Jesus Christ. Casey Clapp.
Alex Crowson.
This time stamps us a little bit, but you and I, after I hit stop on the recording, are going straight over to Powell's Books.
We might get pizza beforehand.
Sure.
Yes.
But if you're listening to this later, it's already happened and it was awesome.
Yeah, and we had a really good time seeing you there.
Yes, we did.
So thanks for coming.
I just want to say to you, Casey, break a leg.
Hey, you break a leg.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work, Alex.
And thank you for listening to this episode of Completely Arbitrary. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Completely Arbortrary is hosted by Casey Clapp and Alex Crowson.
Our music is by Aves and the Mini Vandals, and our artwork is by Jillian Barthold.
To support the podcast and get rewards in return, become a Premium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com.
Thanks for listening.